Very warm welcome from Singapore, from the National University of Singapore. Now, I do understand that many of the participants in this morning's webinar comes from different parts of the world. And so we are here in this webinar. This is morning in Singapore time, and I'm going to tell you more about our university. Now, before we begin, let me just highlight about the paradigm shift of university education. Nowadays, times have changed. The world is getting very complex. The problems of today's world is also very complex. So there's a current paradigm shift in university education. A university education is now beyond a paper qualification. It's beyond just accumulating knowledge. Instead, because of the complex world, because of the wide range of disciplines that one needs to solve complex problems, nowadays, university education focuses on integration of disciplinary knowledge and future-ready skills. In terms of learning pedagogies, it has changed as well, especially the change come about after the COVID-19 pandemic, that this is now a more different kind of pedagogy. It could be innovative, it could be wide-ranging, and there could even be a hybrid of online and face-to-face learning. At the same time, like I've already emphasized, interdisciplinary learning is important. So we are going to infuse interdisciplinary learning opportunities into a university education. At the same time, we want our students to have a global perspective. So there will be global learning opportunities as well. And at the end of the day, the whole idea here is that we want to prepare you for your future career. So career preparation, internship opportunities, all these are very important. And you are now at a very important juncture of your life. And the question you want to ask is that, how should I choose a course of study at university? Let me ask you back two questions instead. What is your passion? What is your aptitude? Passion and aptitude are two very important things for you when you come to selecting a university education. Because if you're passionate about something, you'll be good at it. If you're good at it, you want to learn more about it. You want to be even more passionate about this. So choosing a course of study, you have to choose something that you're passionate about, something that you are good at. And at the end of the day, what happens here is that you are going to actually learn knowledge and skill sets related from this course of study. And at the end of the day, you are going to have a solid foundation of your discipline knowledge, will give you future-ready skill. And most importantly, we will train you to be able to integrate the knowledge and the skill sets together. Welcome to the NUS experience. Now, let me just give you a snapshot about NUS. NUS is among consistently, in terms of university ranking, is consistently among the best in Asia and among the top 25 universities globally. We are a research-intensive university, and we are a research-intensive comprehensive university. And because of our size, we take in more than 7,000 undergraduate students each year. We are able to offer a wide range of bachelor's degree program. We offer more than 60 different bachelor's degree program. We have a very vibrant student life on campus. We have more than 200 clubs and societies and interest group. Now, although Singapore is at one corner of the world, we are well connected with our partner universities. There are more than 300 partner universities over 40 countries. And last but not least, our graduates are very employable. We're consistently among the top 10 for global employability. And let me tell you a little bit more about NUS, the NUS story. The NUS is actually Singapore's first and largest university. This year, we are 117 years old. And because of our long history, we have taught generations of architects, scientists, doctors, writers, engineers, entrepreneurs, lawyers, and so on and so forth. And being a research-intensive university, our research ranking for many of our areas are very strong, and our research impacts life. And we're just getting started. So let me summarize what is the NUS education. I would summarize the NUS education by the 3 C's. customizable, challenging, and current. How you're going to make it work, that is entirely up to you. And the first thing you do when you apply to NUS is that you have to choose a course of study. Choose your academic pathway. Now, if you look at the list that I have here, there are many things that you can choose. There are 8 choices for you to put down, and you can choose any of these. If you're interested in humanities and sciences, you can choose a major either in the arts and social sciences or a major in science. Or if you're interested in something that actually crossed the 2 disciplines together between the humanities and sciences, you can choose one of our cross-disciplinary programs. Now, on the other hand, if you're interested in design and engineering, you can choose a major in one of our design courses, architecture, industrial design, and so on and so forth. You can choose a major in engineering. And because we are very strong in engineering, you can actually see that we have a wide range of engineering courses. And we have a very good business school offering 3 majors: accountancy, business administration, and real estate. Our computing school is very popular. They offer 4 different majors in computing: business analytics, computer science, information security, and information system. And we are the only university in Singapore that offers the 3 professional schools: medicine, dentistry, and law. We even have a music school. And for students who are passionate about healthcare profession, we have courses on nursing and pharmacy. And that is the first step. Choose a course of study. But the NUS experience is actually more than just that course of study. In fact, let me explain how the curriculum in NUS work. Now, in the NUS study, a student typically will take 40 modules. And each year, across 4 years. So 1 year, you take 10 modules. So out of that 40 modules, I would say that we will split into 3 components. One component is what we call a common curriculum. A common curriculum that provides you a rigorous, broad-based intellectual foundation that can expand your learning capacity. The common curriculum is supposed to prepare you for your major studies so that you have the necessary background. So that is the first component, the common curriculum. The second component is the major requirements, and that is the course of study that you have chosen, and you can take care of it. This is another portion. The third portion, which is really, really the fun portion, the unrestricted electives. What do you mean by unrestricted electives? There are modules that you can do. It can range from 10 modules or plus minus a few. And that unrestricted elective space, you can actually do anything that you desire. So that allows me now to explain the 4 key pillars of NUS education. And like I already mentioned, the common curriculum. Now, what is unique about our common curriculum is that our common curriculum is not actually common for the whole university. Now, bearing in mind that we have more than 7,000 undergraduate students, now we want to make sure that our common curriculum is actually tailored to your learning needs of your major programs. So we have a common curriculum for humanities and sciences. We have another different common curriculum with some overlap with the one in humanities and sciences, a common curriculum for design and engineering. We have a common curriculum for computing. We have another common curriculum for business. So this actually tailor-made the skill sets that you need for your major study. The second key pillar of NUS education is what I call flexible pathway. What do I mean by that? Now, remember that there was this portion, the fun part about unrestricted electives. You can do anything that you want. If you are very passionate about your major topic, you want to go deep into that, you can use your unrestricted elective stays to do specialization or take more modules from the major requirements. So that means instead of taking the typical number of modules for major requirement, you do more, you go deep. On the other hand, we recognize that interdisciplinary learning is important. You want to complement your major study by a second major. That is possible. Or a minor. That is also possible. So that is flexible pathway. The third thing is that we take an interdisciplinary approach. At the common curriculum, you already see an interdisciplinary approach. You can make use of the unrestricted elective space to complement your major study, and you make it interdisciplinary. And in terms of interdisciplinary approach, you actually have it in both teaching and learning across discipline. And you can actually go from one faculty or one school to another school. So that is possible. And last but not least, we recognize that our commitment to our student is not just that 4 years of NUS education. Our commitment to our student is actually 20 years and beyond. We are big into lifelong learning, and we will make sure that we have modules and courses available for you to come back and take even after you have graduated from NUS. You can do a graduate certificate, you can do a master degree to enhance your capability. And let me highlight to you some of the new development of NUS. And I've already mentioned very briefly just now. And so here are 3 new developments that I want to highlight. One is the College of Humanities and Sciences. Just now I mentioned about taking courses from the Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences and the Faculty of Science. Now, essentially what happened in 2021 is that 2 of our largest and most established faculties in NUS and in Singapore, the Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences and the Faculty of Science, we actually formed a virtual new college called the College of Humanities and Sciences, so that we can actually deliver interdisciplinary learning at scale. Now, you can imagine the scale of impact, because this actually built on the research ability and the teaching ability of 2 of the largest and most established faculties in Singapore. We have a deliberate curriculum curation. We form a common curriculum for this College of Humanities and Sciences that emphasizes the ability to draw connection, discover links, and connect insights across disciplines in humanities and sciences. These are skill sets that will be very useful for you. At the same time, we create space in the curriculum, and so that you have room to do a second major and a minor. You can do a primary major in Faculty of Science, in Life Sciences, and you can do a second major in Psychology in the Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences. So that is possible now. And this was launched in 2021, and this was very, very successful. Riding on the success of the College of Humanities and Sciences, in 2022, in this year, we launched the College of Design and Engineering. Greater choice, greater breadth, greater flexibility for a student-centric learning experience that actually combine the strengths of the Faculty of Engineering and the School of Design and Environment. We take these 2 established schools, merge them together, and we form the College of Design and Engineering. Once again, there is a common curriculum, but this time around, the common curriculum has built-in courses and modules that are suitable for design and engineering. At the same time, we create space to do second major, to do minor. So this actually leverage on these new learning pathways that typical engineering students will get, more than what the typical engineering students forget. So for students who are interested in, let's say, studying in engineering, what you can do is that you can apply for the engineering course. There will be a list of preferred majors that you can choose. It could be electrical engineering, chemical engineering, mechanical engineering, and so on and so forth. The moment you are into the engineering course, you can pick any of these majors. No further selection is required. And if you want to complement your study in mechanical engineering, let's say mechanical engineering, physics plays a role. You want to do a second major with a primary major in mechanical engineering and a second major in physics in the College of Humanities and Sciences. You can go over to the other college to do this. Not an issue at all. So we are leveraging on the strength of NUS as a comprehensive university. Another exciting new development that we had in 2022 is NUS College. This is the first honors college that we have in NUS. Honors college means you actually have an enhanced curriculum that goes beyond the typical major. So what happens here is that this is an honors college that actually enhances your original major. You could be majoring in humanities and sciences. You could be majoring in engineering. And we enhance it by having a broad-based interdisciplinary curriculum. So what kind of interdisciplinary curriculum you're going to have? Now, this will actually replace some or all of the, or most of the modules that you will take under the common curriculum of your home major. And so, in other words, the NUS College experience is open to more than 50 majors across the university. And what we have is that we have a very innovative curriculum that actually marries local and global perspective, experiential learning opportunities, and cross-cultural developmental opportunities. We even have a specially curated global experience module that can be embedded inside the student exchange program and the NUS Overseas Colleges program, which I will talk about it later on. And this is an immersive educational experience. You'll be living on campus for at least 2 years with students from different faculty, taking classes together, small class size under this NUS College setup. For more information about the College of Humanities and Sciences, College of Design Engineering, NUS College, in today's NUS admissions and faculty sharings, they will be presenting separate sessions. I do encourage you to visit those sessions and find out more. And coming back to the NUS academic structure, just now I alluded something about some keywords: second major, minor. So let me now put this in concrete terms. Now, typically, for out of the 40 modules that undergraduate will take, the students will actually take the primary major, typically is 15 to 20 modules. If you want to do a second major, 10 modules. You want to do a minor, 5 modules. The unrestricted elective space, the fun space that I mentioned, you can, there is usually 10 modules. It could be 12 modules, plus my 10 plus minus a few modules. So in theory, you can actually do a second major. You can even do 2 minors, or you can just take a suite of modules. That is entirely up to you. Now, some students are very adventurous. You want to do a double degree. Can you actually complete 2 degrees? And you may say that 1 degree is 4 years, 2 degrees, 8 years. No, that is not the case. The second degree, due to our curriculum structure, some you can even do it within 4 years in the College of Humanities and Sciences. A Bachelor of Science degree and a Bachelor of Social Science degree. That is possible within 4 years. Some you need 4.5 years, some you need 5 years. And that would be roughly the timeline that you need to do a double degree. We have partner universities as well. They are degrees programs that we offer jointly with a partner university under the joint degree programs. Some students are very motivated. They want to do an undergraduate degree and a master degree concurrently. And that is the framework of our concurrent degree programs. And we want to give our students flexibility. We want you to learn the way that you want to learn. So we do understand that the transition from high school to university can be very challenging. So we also want you to explore taking modules without worrying about the grades. So we have what we call a grade-free first year. In the first year, as long as you pass the module, which most students will pass the modules, if you like the grade, you can keep the grade. This can be counted towards your GPA for graduation requirements. On the other hand, if you don't like the grade, the modular credit that you've accumulated after you've taken the modules, you don't have to keep the grade, but you can still take the modular credit to count towards your graduation requirement. So essentially, we give you a grade-free first year. At the same time, some of you were very excited that I would like to do research. So what kind of research opportunities that we have at the undergraduate level? Now, here in NUS, at the 4th year, you get to do research project. But we do understand that we want to allow students more opportunity to do research. You can do undergraduate research as early as the 2nd year and 3rd year again. And this will actually gives you a totally different perspective about what you want to do. And there's another flexibility that we give a student. We give a couple of modules place for you to design your own module, to customize your learning experience. Probably there's something that you wanted to study, but we don't have it. Get a few students together and then go to a prof, and we can actually offer it under the framework of a design your own module. And of course, I would strongly encourage you to take advantage of our global opportunities. Like I said, NUS is well connected to different parts of the world so that you can actually learn outside your comfort zone. Develop new life skills when you study in another country. Expand the scope of your learning and apply it to real-world problems, and learn from renowned professors overseas, learn from classmates from different parts of the world. So what kind of study abroad program do we have? Now, during the two COVID-19 pandemic years, unfortunately, it's difficult for students to travel overseas physically to experience a study abroad program. But now that travel has been resumed, our students are now actively going out for our study abroad programs. Now, our flagship study abroad program is the Student Exchange Program. And what you do is that you can actually spend 1 semester or 1 year in one of our more than 300 partner universities. Before you go for the Student Exchange Program, there will be an academic advisor. They will map out the modules that you're going to take in the partner university so that these modules can be mapped back to count towards your NUS graduation requirements. In terms of school fees, you will still pay NUS school fees under the Student Exchange Program. This is very popular. Some students may say that taking 1 semester is too long to go overseas. Now, you want to have a taste of study abroad, but in a different environment, but at a shorter duration. You can always go for our summer and winter programs. And you can take, it ranges from 3 to 6 weeks, and you can take some classes there. Some students wanted to do research attachment at renowned lab. You can go overseas to do research as well. And another highlight that I want to make is NUS Overseas Colleges, which I will talk a lot more in the next slide. What is this NUS Overseas Colleges? Now, I'm proud to say that this is the 20th anniversary of our program called NUS Overseas Colleges. Now, some of you may say, I aspire to be an entrepreneur. I wonder how is it like to be working in a startup company. Now, NUS Overseas Colleges is the avenue for you. You do an internship at a startup for up to 1 year or 1 semester. And what you do is that you attend some classes on entrepreneurship in one of our partner universities, and you work in one of the startup in one of our more than 15 entrepreneur hotspots around the world under these NUS Overseas Colleges. And you gain first-hand experience as the life of an entrepreneur. So this program has been very successful. It has gone on for 20 years already, and there are more than 3,800 students who have benefited from this. And through the process, more than 1,000 companies have been founded. So where are the places for the NUS Overseas Colleges? You can see that this actually spans across the globe. We have an NUS Overseas Colleges in North America. We have 3 of them, one in New York, one in Silicon Valley, another in Toronto. We have presence in Europe, presence in China, and in Southeast Asia. But you may wonder, that does it mean that in order to have an exciting university education, I should go overseas? Actually, our campus itself is also very interesting. You can discover a lot of interesting things on campus, and you can make yourself at home on campus. So what kind of campus accommodations do we have? We actually have, spoiled for choice, we have 5 different types of campus accommodation. The first type is what we call the halls of residence. The halls of residence has been around the longest. It has been around for many years, and this has actually had a culture on their own. In each of these halls of residence, you get a place to stay. There's a very vibrant community, student life based on community, culture, or sports activities. Each of our halls have their own characteristic. More than 10 years ago, we started to have residential colleges. This is the second type of on-campus accommodation. There's a place to stay, there's a lot of activities, and last but not least, You take classes there, you take 5 modules there, and that can be counted towards your common curriculum. So that's residential colleges. Think of it, how exciting it is to stay with classmates from different parts of the campus, different faculties, different background, taking classes together in small class size. And that happens at the residential colleges. And then the latest addition is NUS College. Again, a place to stay, lots of activities, plus taking classes. But what is different of NUS College versus the residential colleges is that residential colleges, you take 5 modules. NUS College, you take a total of 14 modules that can be counted towards your graduation requirement. So the academic component is much stronger in NUS College. But some students prefer that you want to have a place to stay, but you don't want to have so much activities. You can apply for one of our student residences. But it doesn't mean that it is just a place to stay. In fact, we have a very vibrant international community in our student residences, and and you get to make friends from students from different parts of the world. And last but not least, another new addition is houses. Now, houses, you have a place to stay, and we emphasizes more on peer mentorship, co-creation, and well-being. So which is exactly your preference? That is entirely up to you. And so that on campus, through the on-campus accommodation or through our clubs and society, you get to connect with like-minded peers. I'm sure you will find somebody that have common interests as you, whether is it in music, arts, community service, or sports. And like I say at the beginning, we want to prepare you for the future. We want to prepare you for the future employment. We take the employment of our students very seriously. And we have the Center for Future Ready Graduates that organizes programs, workshops, even modules to prepare you for employment. Now, we have a long history of 117 years. We have many alumni. So we do recognize that our alumni is in industries for different parts, different kinds of industry. So we have a networking platform called Connect NUS, and that enables you to interact with alumni in industry for career planning and job opportunities. Internship is something that is very, very important. And most of our courses, we have internship opportunities. Some of the courses, the internship is compulsory. Some of the courses, the internship is optional, but nevertheless, all these internship can be counted towards your graduation requirement. And we have a platform, again, for you to engage in internship finding so that you can actually apply knowledge and experience day-to-day working life. So how to get started? Take the first step, apply. So now I'm going to walk you through what are the things to look out for in terms of applications. In NUS, when you apply to the course of study. And the course of study, there's one thing that is very important, subject prerequisite. If you are going to study engineering, you need to have year 12 mathematics. So that is what I mean by subject prerequisite. Go to the website, take a look at what is the subject prerequisite required before you put down your choices. And many of you actually comes from different parts of the world. We recognizes all kinds of qualifications, local qualifications, international qualifications. So if you go to our website and you look for the international qualifications, it could be UK A-levels, American high school, Canadian high school, Gaokao, and so on and so forth. All these, they have their own requirements. So go to a website, take a look. The application portal has already opened since 1st of November. So let me highlight a few common international qualifications about their admission requirements. For others, you can go to our website and you can look at the details. So IB, this is definitely one of the qualifications that we recognize. And this is purely how do we assess students with IB qualifications? You'll be assessed based on your IB diploma result. So for IB diploma, because this is a complete applications, so we do not, and this is conducted in English. So there's no need for an English requirement kind of further assessment. So for certain other qualifications, we do require you to have English grade. But IB, there's no need for English grade. And for IB, we want to recognize your passion. So we actually give first choice bonus point for first choice course. So what happened here is that we want to give you a head start that the course that you put down for first choice, which is you're most passionate about, you get 1 extra IB point as a bonus point, except courses that requires further tests or interviews. And the courses that requires further tests or interviews are those that I've stated on the screen. Another common international qualifications, American High School. Now, American High School, now what we need is actually we need a good pass on your transcript for your high school diploma. And because of the varying nature of American High School, so we also require you with ACT with writing or SAT in one setting. At the same time, we will need you to have 3 SAT subject tests. Now, one of them is mathematics level 2, that is compulsory, and 2 other subjects based on subject prerequisite. Now, we do understand that SAT subject tests are no longer continuing, so we allowed you to replace your SAT subject test by advanced placement test, AP test. So you can replace your 3 SAT subject tests by 3 AP tests, and the AP test, AP Calculus, for AP Calculus, Calculus BC would be compulsory, and plus 2 other subjects based on the subject prerequisite that you need. Some of you are presenting with one of the UK A-levels. Now, then for UK A-levels, we will require you to have a good pass in 4 to 5 A-level subjects and mostly A-star grade to be competitive. And we allowed you to combine 2 sittings of your UK A-levels. Other qualifications, like for example, Gaokao. Gaokao, we certainly welcome students, and you can apply with the final Gaokao results. And for those of you who are sitting Gaokao in 2023, you can apply with the latest high school result. And then we will assess you accordingly. And for Gaokao, we need you to actually provide with English requirement as well, like else with a 6.5 overall and plus 6.5 score overall, plus 6.5 in reading and writing. Or you can take TOEFL, getting a score of 580 for paper-based or 92 to 93 for internet-based. Other qualifications that are quite common, Australian High School, we accept both ATA and OP, and we will advise you to have ATA of 90 to be competitive and OP of 6 to be competitive. We also have Canadian High School, and we recognize that, and we expect 85% of each subject taking at the diploma exam to be competitive. So these are just some examples of the international qualifications that we recognize. And of course, there are many more. Please go to our website to find out more. And I just want to highlight a little bit about scholarships for international students. Now, scholarships for international students are actually merit-based and awarded to individuals with academic excellence, outstanding leadership, and co-curricular activities. There are 3 of these scholarships. One is for the ASEAN Undergraduate Scholarship. And these are ASEAN Undergraduate Scholarships that you have to be from ASEAN nationality. Then the other type is the Science and Technology Undergraduate Scholarship. You can be of Asian nationality. At the same time, you need to study a course that is in either science or technology, a STEM discipline. There are others offered by external organizations that you can find out more from our website. Now, for application of scholarship for international students, there's no need for you to submit a separate application. You'll be considered automatically based on your admission application. Those who actually that we are going to shortlist will contact you, and we'll consider you for either the ASEAN Scholarship or the Science and Technology Scholarship. External scholarship, you apply directly to the external organization. Now, these are not the only financial support. There's another very unique financial support that is provided by Singapore University called the Singapore Ministry of Education Tuition Grant. Now, this is MOE Tuition Grant is a substantial tuition fee subsidies by the Singapore government administered by the university. If you're a Singapore citizen, Singapore permanent resident studying in a local university for the first time, you'll be offered automatically. For international students, you'll be offered competitively based on the merit of the application. So what happens here is that your fees under this MOE tuition grant will be reduced substantially. I'll explain what I mean by substantially in a moment. So for students who are international students who take up the MOE tuition grant, in return of this grant, you need to work in Singapore or Singapore registered company for 3 years after graduation. And so this is the MOE tuition grant. And now let me show you the fee structure so that you have a better understanding of it. So like for example, if you are interested in computing, so the full tuition fees is $38,450 Singapore dollars a year. So, and then for Singapore citizens, you'll be heavily subsidized and you pay $8,250. But if you're international students and you manage to secure the MOE tuition grant, instead of paying $38,450, you will only be paying $17,650. So there's a major substantial reduction of the tuition fees. So that is the MOE tuition grant. Again, there's no need for you to apply separately. What you need to do is that on the application form, you just check the box to say that you wish to be considered for the MOE tuition grant. And this is not the only financial support that we provide. Now, it is also possible that our admission to get other kinds of financial support. Our admission policy is merit-based and needs-blind. Financial difficulty will not impact the way that we assess you. We'll assess you purely based on merit. Now, what kind of financial support that is available for students? Now, we have bursaries that is available for local students and international students. And the bursary amount may not be enough, but it is always possible to go for a tuition fee loan or NUS study loan. Now, the tuition fee loan and NUS study loan, this is something that you can get on top of the MOE tuition grant. So if you are actually taking up the MOE tuition grant, then you are also entitled, even if you're an international student, to apply for the MOE tuition fee loan and the NUS study loan. And these loans are actually to help you for your study, and you don't have to pay during the course of study, and for a certain period of time, this would be interest-free loan as well. And you can even take as long as 20 years for you to repay the loan completely. So there are all these opportunities that's available. There is NUS student assistance loan as well, and there are also work study assistance scheme that is available. So how do you know that how much does it cost to study in NUS, and how much are the loans and financial aid that's available? You can estimate your expenses with a financial needs calculator. And just to put this in context, the annual cost of living in Singapore that we estimate for a student is about 6,000 Singapore dollars a year. That means 500 Singapore dollars a month. Plus, you need to have certain amount of money for accommodations. For on-campus accommodations, you have $4,600 for accommodation. And so this is my last slide. And for more information, feel free to go our website to find out more. And you can also write in to nus.edu/askadmissions. And I look forward to answering your questions now. I saw there are many, many questions posted already. So let me work on the questions now. Thank you.
Thank you, Prof. Goh, for your sharing. We will now move on to the Q&A segment. We have especially invited two NUS international students, Ridwan and Michelle, to share with us today. Ridwan is a third-year student majoring in chemical engineering with a second major in data analytics. He's an international student from Indonesia and pursued the Indonesian Ujian National Examination during his high school. He is currently on a student exchange program at the University of Pennsylvania in the United States. As an international student at NUS, he has lived in various on-campus accommodations such as Raffles Hall, UTown Residences, and Prince George's Park Residences. For this summer, he spent his time working as a student researcher at the NUS Environmental Research Institute. He's also actively involved in various CCA and work opportunities such as NUS Indonesia Organization, Student Ambassador, and as a resident assistant. Michelle is a second-year student majoring in business administration from NUS Business School. She is a Malaysian and has lived in Qatar for 11 years, where she completed her international A-level examinations. She currently stays at the College of Alice and Peter Tan, a residential college, and is actively involved in various CCAs such as CAPS, Freshman Orientation Camp, where she was the project director, a values-based mentoring program for foster children, the Malaysian Student League, and the CAP External Affairs Committee. Prior to NUS, she was head girl of her school and participated in an internship with the Stanford Dynamic Design Lab, working on the integration of autonomous vehicles into global environments. So I'll hand the time over to Prof. Goh, who will be moderating the Q&A segment with Ridwan and Michelle. Prof. Goh, please.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a great pleasure to have Ridwan and Michelle joining us. And so they are going to share with you their perspective, the student perspectives about how is it like studying in NUS. Now, let me just get Ridwan and then followed by Michelle to say a few words to say hello to all of you. And then we'll get started with some of the things that you have asked and also some of the other things that we can look at. Yeah. So Ridwan, you want to get started?
Okay. Hi, everyone. Hi. My name is Ridwan, and I'm currently a third-year student majoring in chemical engineering, but I'm also pursuing a second major in data analytics right now. And actually, I'm an international student from Indonesia. So hi to all of those Indonesians watching this. And then I pursued the Indonesian Ujian Nasional examination during my high school. And now I'm currently on a student exchange program at the University of Pennsylvania, United States. Yeah.
Okay, over to you, Michelle.
Okay, hello everyone. I'm Michelle. I'm studying business administration. I'm in year 2, and I'm from Malaysia. Yay! And I studied in Qatar as well, in the Middle East. If you don't know, it's the site for the FIFA World Cup 2022. So I'm very proud of that. And yeah, I just came over to Singapore last year, and yeah, excited to share with all of you.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, I think let's get started. Now, I saw questions that is in the type Q&A there. And I saw that there are some questions about second major and minor. And in particular, they were asking about when should I apply for a second major or minor. Now, let me explain a little bit more about this second major and minor. Now, second major, like I have already mentioned, is supposed to enhance your study. And Ridwan has also taking a second major, and then the minor is supposed to enhance your study. Second major, typically 10 modules, minor, 5 modules. Now, when to apply? Now, there are actually 2 points of entry for you to apply for a second major or minor. You can apply at the point of admission. On the application form, you will see single degree programs and you check your 8 choices. Then there will be, what you get is another page that is called multidisciplinary programs. Now that one, you can put down 5 choices. And that the multidisciplinary program comprises double major, second major, minor combination. That's where you can apply at the point of admission. That is one possibility. But then many students will say that I can't decide whether should I do a second major at this stage. Good perspective. You know, you want to come in first, see how it goes, then decide later. That is possible. During your course of study, after your first year, you can still apply for a second major, you can still apply for minor. And in fact, what happened is that after your first year, you actually see that there are a lot of second major, a lot of minor, and you can pick what you like and then you can apply then. At the point of admission, we put a few popular combinations together as a package and we give it to you. But it is also possible for you to actually apply at the point of after you have admitted. So no issue about that. And then more importantly, what you do is that we are very flexible. You may want to start off by doing a minor. During the course of study, you like it so much, you want to upgrade to a second major, we allow you to do that. You want to upgrade even further, as long as you convince us that you are able to do it, you can even upgrade to a first major. All these are possible. Likewise, you can start off as a second major and then you find that you want to use the curriculum space to do other things. You decide to do a minor instead. That is also possible. So, and this is actually at the framework of trying to give an interdisciplinary approach to our learning. Now, Ridwan has gone through this, started embarking on this. So let's hear from Ridwan about his, why do you study a second major in data analytics to complement your chemical engineering? Now, chemical engineering is in the College of Design and Engineering. Data analytics is actually a second major offered by the College of Humanities and Sciences. So let's hear from Ridwan.
Yeah. Okay, that's true, Prof. Actually, I applied for my second major in my year 2, second major in data analytics in my year 2 semester 1, because at like my first semester, I was like, oh, I don't know what like what should I apply for like my minor or second major. Then I give it like one more semester to like really evaluate what are my options and check which one is more like which one that I really like, right? Then after my second semester in NUS, my year 1 semester 2, I applied I applied for a minor first, minor in computer science, because I started to feel like chemical engineering actually requires a lot of like programming work, a lot of like data analytics work too. So I want to apply like a second major or minor that will complement my first major, which is chemical engineering. But then after my year 1 semester 2, going on to year 2 semester 1, I was like, oh, actually chemical engineering requires more like a specific one, because computer science is a very broad major. So that's why I decided to, how about I transform my minor in computer science to a second major instead. Because in NUS, we are required to take 10 free modules, like we call it unrestricted elective modules. We should take like 10 free modules basically. You can take anything like from any like faculties as long as you fulfill the prerequisites of it. So like with the second major itself, as you like Prof. Goh said, for a second major you only need to complete 10 modules, but then for the unrestricted elective modules, you are required to take, you are required to take 8 modules. Like you can take 8 free modules. That's why when I like calculated, I started calculated, right? I thought, that means I just need to take like two more modules, then I can get like a second major already, right? Yeah, so that's why that's one thing that I really like the most about NUS, because you're very flexible in terms of choosing your specialization. You can choose more than one specialization. For me, I chose chemical engineering and second specialization in data analytics. Yeah.
Thank you, everyone. I think you are spot on. Now, just now you noticed that everyone was talking about 8 modules, 10 modules, and then how many more. Actually, when we say that the graduation requirement, you need to do a total of 40 modules. That is the minimum. Some students want to do, in order to get a second major or to get a minor, you end up doing 41 modules, 42 modules. That's okay. It doesn't mean that we are not so fixated that every semester you can only do 5 modules. Now, some students, as long as you can cope, you can do it, you can manage well, you will actually, you can just take 6 modules. That's not an issue at all. And in terms of tuition fees, we go by semester tuition fees. Whether is it 5 modules or 6 modules, is the same tuition fees. So you don't have to worry so much about adding the numbers together to exactly 40 in order to fulfill the study plan that you envisage. It's possible to go to 41 or 42. That's not an issue at all. And so I think Ridwan has just amplified the need of interdisciplinary learning, and you can actually see that he actually was very careful about what he chose so that he actually maximized the learning opportunity to complement his chemical engineering major. Now, there are other aspects of interdisciplinary learning, like, for example, in terms of the common curriculum, There are interdisciplinary learning, and like I said, at the residential colleges, which Michelle actually stayed in one of them, you can actually take modules there, and that can be counted towards the common the common curriculum for her business administration study. And the unique experience about staying in the residential colleges is that you actually take these courses with students from other faculties, and this is a kind of unique arrangement. So Michelle, would you like to share with us about what kind of interdisciplinary learning opportunities that you had in College of Alice and Peter Tan?
Okay, yeah, sure. So I think that residential colleges, they all have like specific values that they cater towards, and these values like reflect in the culture of the hostel and the curriculum that they offer. So these curriculum, like they kind of replace the core curriculum modules. So the modules that I took was like internationalization of higher education, power and ideas, and community leadership. And so CAP is like really focused towards the community and giving back to the community and things like that. And I think it was super interesting to learn with other people and to learn from the perspectives of a different major to mine. And I think from there, we were able to share our perspectives and like come to a greater perspective about the world. I think hostels in general are just like a great place to meet new people, and it's really vibrant, really fun, and it allows you to help to get started on opportunities to help impact your community, just like why I really enjoyed here. Yeah.
And just now you mentioned, Michelle, that you say that CAP actually has certain culture, and the modules actually reflect the cultures of CAP. So maybe you can tell us a bit more about other activities, non-academic activities in CAP that exemplify this culture of CAP that you mentioned.
Okay, sure. So for CAP in particular, we have this wing kind of called the Active Community Engagement Wing, where it's kind of opportunities for us to interact with different communities around Singapore. So one that I joined was, it's called Kindle in CAPS, where it allows you to interact with foster children and be able to develop a program for them to help them instill values in them. And I think it's really encouraging to meet with people who are really passionate about the community and who want to give back to the community that they're in. And yeah, it was just super fun to work with kids. And it was a really fulfilling experience.
As you can see, our on-campus accommodation, not only they have different structure, they have different culture, different emphasis as well. Like College of Alice and Peter Tan that Michelle stays in emphasizes on community involvement. So if you're hard for community, that is the place for you. But the other places that we have, they all have their own unique culture as well. And in fact, Ridwan has the benefit of staying at quite a few different types of on-campus accommodation. Rifles Hall, one of the traditional halls of residence. That's different. And then also UTown Residences and Prince George Park Residences. So I'll invite Ridwan to tell us more about these various kind of on-campus accommodations that he has, and what are the differences in terms of the experiences that he gained. Now, not to worry, Ridwan, I'm not going to ask you to vote which one of the type that you prefer. I'm sure all types are equally good. Yeah, so Ridwan, over to you.
Okay. So for my first year, I stay in Raffles Hall, which is as you can see, it's a hall, right? And then for my second year, I stay for like year 2, semester 1. I actually stay in UTown Resident. It's actually a student resident. We call it as a student resident. And then for last semester, year 2, sem 2, I stay in PGPR, Prince George Park Residence, which is also a student residence. I feel the difference between a student residence and like hall is in terms of the CCA itself. Because in halls, you have your own, like we call it hall CCAs. You have like your own clubs, societies, organizations within that halls itself. And meanwhile, for like student residences, you don't really have these kind of organizations. So I feel I feel I'm quite lucky to join like Hall in my first year of study at NUS, because by joining Hall, I feel I could get more chance to, in my first year, to get to know people, because I could join like the Hall CCA, join the organization societies within that halls itself, so that I could get to know more people within Raffles Hall. But then I decided to move to Prince George Park residence, which is a student residence, because I applied for a work job study scheme in NUS, which is like a resident assistant position.
So
at
it's
the
one
same
of
time,
the financial aid scheme that I
Yeah,
highlighted, right,
true.
everyone? Yes,
Yeah,
yeah. So, sorry.
that's true. Yeah.
Yes.
So at the same time, you can also like study in NUS. You could also like study while also working within on campus itself. And one of the position that I did is a student research, the resident assistant at Prince George Park itself. Yeah.
That's very
Yeah.
good, Ridwan. So in short, basically for our international students, for your first 2 years of studying in NUS, we actually guarantee you, if you apply with the correct within our timeline, the on-campus accommodation. So you don't have to worry about where are you going to stay. Now, for your subsequent years, like year 3 and year 4, whether you still have possibility of staying on campus, there are opportunities. I think, Ridwan, you have just found an opportunity, right, to be a residential fellow assistant. Yes. So and actually, Ridwan has something interesting to offer to us today. Ridwan is not taking this Zoom call from Singapore. He's not in NUS at the moment. He's currently doing his student exchange at the University of Pennsylvania in the United States. So it's very kind of him to spend his nighttime so late at night talking to all of us. So, Ridwan, can you tell us how is it like spending time at the University of Pennsylvania, a completely different learning environment? Tell us more about student exchange program.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's true. I'm currently in the US at the University of Pennsylvania. So right now it's 10 p.m. now in Philadelphia time. And yeah, maybe like a little bit sharing about my exchange experience. I've been around 2 to 3 months here in the University of Pennsylvania. And I got the offer from the College of Design and Engineering itself. I applied via the College of Design and Engineering, and I got the student exchange program for 1 semester to UPenn. And then I feel in terms of like the difference between NUS and like the UPenn itself, actually, they're quite similar in terms of the lecture content. I would say it's like very different, like NUS is harder or like UPenn is harder. No, it's very similar in terms of the lecture content, in terms of the material. But then I feel in UPenn, the homeworks there are more assignments and homework in UPenn. Meanwhile, in NUS, the exams I feel are harder. The exams in NUS are harder, like much, much harder. Like in UPenn, the exams are very similar to homework or the assignments that you do. So yeah, I feel like by going to like a student exchange program, it broadens my perspective, right? I get to know how it is, how it differs, the curriculum, the academic structure from the university outside NUS itself. Because I've never been like to, I've never traveled outside the Asian continent. So this is actually my first time going to the US, and to get the opportunity to study, to learn the culture, I feel it's going to be very precious and going to be very memorable too.
Yeah, that's very, very good. Like what Ridwan has said, the content, the course content at UPenn and the course lecture content in NUS, maybe they look more or less the same, because after all, that is what I call knowledge. Now, in the beginning of my presentation, I did highlight that nowadays there's a paradigm shift in university education. It's not just accumulation of knowledge. Knowledge is always there, but the experience, the skill sets that you gain from the experience, that is the That is what makes a difference. Why do we encourage our students to go for student exchange? Is because you get a different experience. You get a different kind of skill sets that you acquire. And then this experience and these skill sets coupled with the domain knowledge, the disciplinary knowledge, that is what is going to take you for a long time going forward. And talking about experiences, talking about studying at different places. Now, what happened is that this at different places, that Ridwan came from Indonesia and experienced UPenn. But I think during the introduction, I think Michelle really has a very rich place of different places of study, that she studied in Malaysia, in the Middle East, and now in NUS. So this transition of different system, different environment. So I'll let Michelle comment on this. And in particular, I think this is a fear that many of our students in this webinar are frightened about. Going to the university is a big jump from high school. So how is it like, for Michelle about the transition from high school to university? And so I'll let Michelle comment on this.
Yeah, so my high school in Qatar was an international high school. So I really enjoyed meeting people with many diverse perspectives and being able to learn from them. And it was just really nice to see everyone interacting with each other, different cultures interacting with each other without any hindrances or any weird dynamics. But I think moving from high school to Singapore, it just made me realize that university is really what you make of it. I think university is time to explore and to hone in on the skills that you really want to develop. And in NUS in particular, there would be a certain level of competition, like there would be in any other university. But for me personally, in the first year, I focus more on the intangible experiences that you could get, like the out of classroom learning, getting involved in my hostel, meeting new people and taking advantage of the opportunities that were presented to me. Mm-hmm. So in general, I just think you should go into NUS with a plan in mind with what you want to do here. What you want to prioritize when you come into university. So whether that be to graduate with honors or make the most of experiences like Ridwan did with his exchange program, leadership roles or learning a new skill or meeting new people. There's so many things to do. So you need to prioritize when you come into university. And I think coming here will also encourage you to work hard and play hard, much like the Singaporean culture here. And I definitely want more international students to come here. So please apply and remember to have fun. Yeah.
Thank you, Michelle. And Ridwan, you have any final last word about how is it like moving from Indonesia, transiting from Indonesian high school to NUS and studying and living in Singapore?
I feel in terms of the academic, actually I like university more than high school because in terms of the learning in university, you learn to you get to choose what do you want to learn. You can choose something that you are passionate about. Meanwhile, for high school, right, you got to take a lot of different subjects, even though you maybe don't like math, for example, or you don't like economics, right? But then you have to take it because you need it for your graduation. In uni, I'll prefer to be honest, I'll prefer uni because you can learn just one thing that you're really passionate about. And in terms of the transitioning my life, is daily life from Indonesia to Singapore, I feel they are not Indonesians are quite similar to Singapore. So there are many Indonesian food too in Singapore, or maybe for Michelle too, right? There are many Malaysian food in Singapore. So I don't really feel like it's a very big difference. And I feel it's quite easy for me to adapt into to move from Indonesia to Singapore. And one thing that I really like in NUS is that they have this grade free for the first year itself, or we call it as you satisfactory or unsatisfactory grade scheme. With based on what Prof. Go has said about this grade free scheme during his presentation, right? I feel I'm much more chill, much more relaxed during my first semester. I don't have to stress too much about my academics, and I could like join societies more, interact with new people, right? As what Michelle said too. And yeah, I think that's why I really like about having this grade free scheme system during the first year itself. It helped me a lot in transitioning from Indonesia to Singapore.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Riwan. I'm really glad that our grade free system actually benefit you as well, because to me, to the university and to all the educators in the university, the whole idea about the university experience is to facilitate you to gain the knowledge and the skill sets. Now, it's not so much about just purely chasing after grades or things like that. It's about learning. And I'm glad that this actually worked out nicely for both of you. And I think in the interest of time, because today we have a full program in the NUS admissions and faculty sharing, so I'll pass the time back to Grace so that the participants in this session can actually go for the next talk in the other session. So back to you, Grace.